ladies and gentlemen, now in today's video we're going to be breaking down the full abilities for Sorcerer Supreme, and I feel like the Mystic class, man, you know, you have a look at the last like 6-8 months, we got Black Widow Clairvoyant, we got Doctor Doom, we got Man-Thing, don't worry about Man-Thing, we've also got Mojo and Longshot. There have been so many like amazing Mystic champions and Man-Thing recently that I feel like a new Mystic coming in, she's a lot of competition, but it looks like she potentially could be a really interesting champion to get. I think her damage output potential looks like it's going to be relatively solid but not crazy, and she has access to a lot of utility. There is a lot of stuff this champion can do, so yeah, I'm excited. She seems a bit different to some of these other champions, but I'm still, you know, a little bit curious as to how she's actually going to turn out in game, because my predictions, you know, for like Morman and Terrax, they were so wrong, man. They were so wrong. Both of those champions are incredibly underwhelming when it came to the values and stats in game. But anyway, let's start having a look at some of the abilities. So the first thing is all of her basic attacks deal energy damage instead of physical. Again, fantastic for getting around certain champions like Morningstar and also Korg as well. She also gains 70% less power from attacking, blocking and being struck. However, she's going to gain 25% of her maximum power every 9 seconds. So it's kind of like a mix between Symbiote Supreme and Doctor Strange's power gain, with also the ability to generate power when striking. So overall, I think this is going to be pretty decent, but also you know, being a Mystic champion, man, the Mystic Dispersion Mastery is just crazy OP for power gain, so I don't think power gain wise she's going to have any problems there. She also has very, very low physical resistance, minus 370 there, but does have 2100 energy resistance. That's a really good chunk of energy resistance, man. A nice solid bit of utility for any fun and interactive energy scenarios. And then we've got her passive, so very much like Doctor Strange and Symbiote Supreme, she has 3 different blessings, and we're going to call them Ferocity, Resolve, and Ingenuity. So Ferocity grants you, I think it's essentially looking at like a base stats here, because this is all modeled off the maxed out 5-star version, according to the Spotlight. 5-star rank 5, it's like 50% more attack. Again, it's a nice boost, but it's nothing, you know, super crazy there, but it also increases her crit damage rating as well. We don't have a figure for the crit damage rating increase, so it's a little bit hard to tell, and also we don't know what her base crit chance is as well, so how effective this is going to be, but it seems like a solid damage increase during this phase, so certainly not too bad. Then we've got Resolve, which is the more defensive phase, which grants you 1400 armor. I'm not too sure if this is going to work like an armor up buff. I imagine it probably won't there, and also a 30% chance to perfect block. So yeah, nothing like super crazy there. 30% chance is okay, but like, you know, Morningstar's like 50% chance to perfect block all the time is much better. So I don't imagine you really want to be in this phase for too long, in all honesty. Then finally we've got Ingenuity, which grants all of your hits power steal for 3% of the opponent's current power, and Sorcerer Supreme gains 150% of the power stolen. So I think we've really seen with Doctor Doom like just how valuable power steal can be, but again, she's going to cycle through these phases, so there is going to be a point if you are fighting, for example, on all or nothing node, where you eventually run out of this phase. So I'm not too sure like how reliable the power control is going to be for kind of bigger scenarios, but maybe it can get you out of, you know, the old situation where you might be absolutely wombo comboed by a special 3. So I think it's got a little bit of use there in terms of the utility, but also I think using a heavy attack as well, you can rotate to the next blessing, which I don't think is something that Doctor Strange and Symbiote Supreme have, at least to the best of my memory. So that's pretty cool if you want to get into one particular phase. Then next up we've got the Rune System with this character, which is a little bit confusing at first, but I think they do a really good job of breaking it down. down here. So basically, when you use your special attacks, you store runes. So the special 1 stores 2 runes of the current blessing, the special 2 stores 3 runes of the current blessing, and the special 3, the first time you use it, you get a permanent rune of the current blessing that is never consumed. And then subsequent uses store 2 non-permanent runes. However, this is a really good way to get a rune for a piece of utility that you constantly want to be able to access to counter a certain opponent. So if we have a look at what some of these runes do, and again, you can always access one of these if you get to a special 3 first. So the first one is the armor break rune, which armor breaks the opponent for 12 seconds, reducing armor rating by 2,100. And this is the thing that excites me a little bit, combined with kind of the base attack increase and the crit chance increase, is armor rating, especially when there's a massive chunk of it, scales really, really nicely. And it looks like you can get multiple armor breaks as well by firing off multiple special attacks. So I think this one is going to be fantastic for the damage output, but it also gives you utility against champions like Iron Man Infinity War, Killmonger, Emma Frost, Red Skull, any scenario where you need to break the armor, going to be really, really nice there. And then we have the second one, which gives her a small regeneration. Again, it really isn't that big of a regeneration. It's just over 500 there over 12 seconds. However, while this is active, she's going to regenerate 75% of the damage taken from blocked hits. So I assume this is going to work off parry and do a lot to mitigate a lot of the block and parry damage. So yeah, that seems fairly decent there as well. And then finally, we've got a slow for 12 seconds, which prevents unstoppable and evade effects. However, opponents with a natural class advantage cannot be slowed. So you can't slow science champions. However, that gets around, you know, all sorts of really, really annoying opponents and gives her an evade and unstoppable counter for a lot of different scenarios. So that seems like a really awesome piece of utility. Again, very, very versatile in terms of like what she has available to her. So I'm liking all the utility, man. Now, just to further explain the runes with the developer note here. So runes are a very important part of Sorcerer Supreme's utility, but they can be a little tricky to understand. Rune empowers the next few special attacks Sorcerer Supreme uses with a bonus effect, depending on how many were gained and what blessing was present when the special attack was used. Here's an example. So before the special is used, she has no runes. Immediately after triggering the special 2, which generates 3 runes, she has 3 of the armor break runes, and during that same special 2, one of the runes is converted into an armor break, leaving 2 behind on her and 1 armor break on the opponent. And next time she uses a special 2, she uses another rune, so that triggers a second armor break, because the special 2, and we'll talk about this in a second as well, can also pause that armor break for 5 seconds, I believe it is, but also because she's alternated into a next stance as well, it's not only triggered that armor break, but also triggered the regeneration and the heal back on block damage taken as well. So yeah, you can get multiple runes, multiple effects. It's just kind of like cycling through and playing well. And I think the interesting thing, again, being a Mystic champion, you've got access to a lot of power playing around with this champion, especially in matchups where you have buffs, so that seems quite nicely. And again, you can use the heavy attack to rotate to the next blessing to get the runes or blessing effect that you would like. Now, her special 1 seems absolutely banging in terms of utility, so it stores 2 runes of the current blessing. The first hit has a 100% chance to nullify 1 buff off the opponent. So you've got a guaranteed single nullify there. However, after this attack, Sorcerer Supreme casts a nullification aura around herself for 10 seconds. Now, every 0.75 seconds the opponent spends in the aura, one of their buffs is nullified. So when you're beating into an opponent, man, this is like a spam strip here. This seems really, really powerful. Like one of the stronger nullify effects we have for just constantly stripping down buffs that are proccing. So yeah, it seems really, really nice. Kind of a bit like a Fate Seal, not quite maybe as immediate and potent as a Fate Seal there, but it is a very strong nullify and easily accessible off the special 1. So I think this is just going to be You know, absolutely fantastic in all sorts of scenarios there. And I can't wait to see it on resistor paths as well. And the dev note here just clarifies, since runes are both stored and consumed when using this special attack, because you generate 2, you're going to trigger the rune and give her 1 rune of her current blessing as well. And then we've got the special 2 astral slide. So this one stores 3 runes of the current blessing. We'll use 1 of those, so you have 2 runes left over, and the effect that you trigger as well. But after consuming runes, pause all rune effects until 5 seconds after this attack ends. So this kind of makes me excited with the armor break, man, because I just feel like in the right scenario where you've got buffs and you can just keep getting to that special 2, you might be able to stack up a lot of armor breaks. I don't know like how much that you can stack them up by. I know it's at least 2, and 2 is still like, what is it, 4,200 armor reduction. So I think with the attack, there could be a little bit of spice there, man. There could be a little bit of spice. So I'm curious to see exactly how that one is going to work. And again, you can get a permanent rune by using the special 3 of the current blessing, and that rune is never consumed. So on longer fights as well, you can get permanent rune for every single rune that you have. But subsequent, if you activate the special 3 when you've already got a permanent rune, it gives you 2 non-permanent runes instead for that one. But also the special 3 has a massive damage bonus. This is a crazy big bonus here of up to 7,311 additional attack based on the amount of stored runes, and the dev note clarifies that this is up to 10 stored runes. And I imagine in longer fights it's not going to be too tricky to get there. So yeah, I'm excited for that, man. I think that should be some nice damage there. But I think she does have a lot of interesting potential. Again, there's a lot of little stuff she can do with all sorts of stuff like countering certain evade champions, a little bit of regeneration, armor break, nullify, power steal. You've got increased block proficiency as well, very high energy resistance. Like, it makes me excited for this champion because I like characters that just have so much utility going on, because even if their damage maybe isn't like super crazy, they still have lots of cool uses throughout the game. So I've got high hopes that Sorcerer Supreme is hopefully going to be kind of a god tier utility champion, maybe a little bit more if that special 2 wombo combo is crazy in certain matchups, but we're gonna have to see there. Also, we do have her signature ability, Ring of Oblivion. So Sorcerer Supreme gains plus 50% ability accuracy, and this is mainly to combat champions that reduce ability accuracy, as clarified here by the dev note, but also increases the potency of blessings by 33%. So a little bit more attack from the Fury there, and also a little bit more power steal as well. So yeah, seems pretty cool. And then moving on to her synergies specifically, we covered all the other champion synergies in the update note, so we're just going to be talking about Sorcerer Supreme. So with Storm Pyramid X, she rapidly gains a bar of power at the start of the fight, so that seems pretty cool there. Also with Doctor Strange and Symbiote Supreme, she gains this passive prowess whenever a blessing activates, increasing special attack damage by 15%, and these last until the end of the synergy member's next special attack and are capped at 3, so it's pretty much up to like 45% more special attack damage, which again with that special 2 might be pretty damn spicy with those armor breaks. So I'm curious to see how that one's going to work, and I think you can probably like spam heavy attacks to get this prowess up and rotate it. So yeah, might be a bit interesting there. Then next up we have one with Dormammu, Dr. Voodoo, and Mordo. So the nullification aura is paused during any special attack, so allows, you know, a little bit more uptime on that. Also, I imagine like baiting out opponent specials as well. This would be particularly useful for like the champion in Act 6 Chapter 2, so that seems pretty damn good there. And then I don't think there's anything else that affects synergy wise. Maybe like she's the block penetration as well. So yeah, that's about it when it does come to Sorcerer Supreme. The recommended masteries are Mystic Dispersion and also Despair, because she can stack up a few armor breaks and slow debuffs using her special 2. So yeah, seems like a pretty interesting champion. I'm excited for Sorcerer Supreme. I think she's going to be a really good addition to the game. Again, I'm a big fan of champions with a a lot of utility, but also I want to keep my expectations managed, because like Mole Man and Terrax really did disappoint me this month. So hopefully next month's champions are going to be a little bit better. But ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy today's breakdown, please do smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Aside from that, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.